The episode of Legal Nurse Podcast that you are about to hear is one of the best of 2024. And how do we evaluate best? We base it on the number of downloads that the episode received. We collated for the month of January 2025 the best of the 2024 podcast. Sit back, relax, enjoy this podcast as one of the best of 2024. Welcome to Legal Nurse Podcast. I'm Pat Iyer, the host of your show. This is now the 8th year that I have been sharing information with you on Legal Nurse Podcast, and it is a delight to be able to give you some tips on a weekly basis, have you meet a variety of well-qualified people as guests, and to develop that sense of assurance that there's somebody who's got your back. Today is a solo episode. I'm going to share with you tips specifically related to getting paid as an expert witness. These also apply if you are behind the scenes consulting. The first is to consider when to invoice. Some legal nurse consultants have asked me over the years, do I wait until the case is over to send my invoice? No, please don't do that. Send your invoice when you have concluded a portion of your work. In other words, when the attorney says to you, please review these records and let me know what you think. You do that. You've gotten a retainer, you subtract the hours from the retainer. If you've gone beyond the retainer, you're invoicing for those overage hours. Better yet, you get a replenishing retainer, where when that retainer is almost over, you get another one. So you are minimizing the amount of possibility that you're going to be over the number of hours that you've been paid for. Then the attorney says to you, all right, I'd like you to write a report. That's another opportunity to invoice. Now you're getting ready for a deposition. If you're an expert witness, you've got prep time, travel time, time at the deposition, travel time back, or if it's done on Zoom, no travel time. That's another invoicing opportunity. In phases. In other words, you're going to be invoicing in phases. You can also use your leverage to get paid. If you have a large amount of money, and hopefully you won't, that the attorney owes you, you can not do something for the attorney until you get paid. If the attorney says, I'd like you to submit your report, you can say, I would love to. I have an outstanding invoice that needs to be taken care of first. I'd like to schedule you for a deposition. I would love to give you some time, but I have an outstanding invoice that needs to be paid first. That's using your leverage. Attorneys will, when given that kind of message, work hard to make sure that your invoice is paid because they've got court-ordered deadlines and they need to stay in the good graces of the court system.
Hi, I'm Jane Herron, and I'm happy to recommend the LNC Success virtual conferences that are presented by Pat Iyer and Barbara Levin. I've had the opportunity to attend all conferences. There's always a variety of great speakers and topics. There's something for everyone. LNCs of all levels of experience, from brand new to highly experienced. And it's a great way for us to earn our CEUs. You can opt to purchase access to the recordings if you can't make the live conference, or if you just want to be able to hear the information again. It's very affordable, especially because you can attend the conference from wherever you are. No travel, no hotels, no costly meals. You can attend in your pajamas if you'd like. There are fun networking opportunities and chances to brainstorm together in the frequent breakout sessions. There's opportunities to set up one-on-one sessions with Barbara Levin, which are always helpful. As I said, I'm happy to recommend the conferences, and I hope to see you at the next LNC conference.
I would recommend that you not allow many years to go by without raising your rates. Cost of living goes up, your expenses go up, your experience goes up, you deserve to be compensated at a higher rate. Consider raising your rate every 1 to 2 years. And if you stay on top of this, you're most likely going to be invoicing in small amounts at a higher rate. In other words, you might go up, say, $25 per hour every year or 2 years. Perhaps you're going to come up with a different number of dollars per hour to increase your rates. But if you wait 5 years, for example, and then try to make up for 5 years of not increasing your rates, you might have a big jump in your rates, which is going to be less acceptable to your clients. Let them know in advance that you are increasing your rate. Give them a date. As of X date, my new rate will be X. Don't be surprised if your clients work on you to say, oh, could you just review this before the new rate goes into effect? And you might get a bunch of cases coming to you to be reviewed before the new deadline of the rate increase. You can raise your rates at any time during the year. You don't have to wait until January 1st. You could make it April 15th. You could make it July 17th, whatever you want. There's no set rule. And be sure you're charging a reasonable rate for your education, for the services that you're providing, and for the role that you are fulfilling. Your geographic area also influences the rate that you should be charging. I cannot sit here on this podcast and say, you ought to be charging X number of dollars per hour. It's highly variable. Make sure that you are not undercharging, which makes you look inexperienced and out of touch, or overcharging, which makes you look inexperienced and out of touch with rates and discourages people from hiring you. You can avoid collection issues with your invoices. This is my last tip, by making sure that you're delivering a quality work product. You're listening to what your client wants. You're clear about your areas of expertise, what you can help with, what you can't help with. You're not taking on cases personally that you don't feel well equipped to manage. Look around your community, network with other legal nurse consultants. Take on the cases that you are comfortable with and subcontract out the cases that you personally don't feel like you have enough knowledge, or you'd have to learn a whole new area of nursing in order to be effective in offering guidance. There are colleagues around you who already have that level of knowledge. And when you bring them onto your team, you strengthen your capabilities. When you listen to your clients, when you're delivering them a quality product, when you are responsive and you return phone calls and emails and meet deadlines, attorneys appreciate it. That's it for today. Thank you for being part of this show and listening. Be sure to go to podcast.legalnursebusiness.com. We have some new podcast bundles that you can download at no charge. They are groups of our most listened to podcasts for the previous year, and you'll have an opportunity to get some concentrated knowledge on topics of interest to you. I'll see you in the next podcast. Coming up next, you'll have an opportunity to meet Mary Jorgensen, who has a varied and long career in nursing and also as a legal nurse consultant. I interviewed Mary about her background in the twisted path, shall we call it, Mary? The twisted branching path that has taken her from working in a critical care environment to working for a unique set of experts, which is part of her role now. Mary, what were some of the topics that we covered in your podcast?
Sure. Well, we talked about some of the pros and cons of working in-house for a law firm. We also touched on how to ace an interview if you're looking for a job within a law firm, and some things that you should think about to prepare for those interviews. We also talked about different roles that nurses can play as a legal nurse consultant. They are not just, you don't have to be just an independent testifying expert. You can review medical records for other types of roles and companies that need your services. And there is a special niche in working with other experts to assist them in their medical record review analysis, because really we're the experts in the medical record review, and we're helping other experts with that when they make opinions.
There are lots of nuggets in the interview with Mary. Be sure to return to Legal Nurse Podcast next week for watching her interview, or if you are binge listening, click on down below for the next show. Mary Jorgensen and I talk about some of the roles that she has fulfilled and what you can take away from her experiences. I'll see you in that show. That's it for Legal Nurse Podcast. Thanks for being here. Be sure to get your ticket for our next online conference that's taking place February 27, 28, and March 1. You can get your ticket at the link in this video if you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're listening to this, the link is lnc.tips/February 2025 virtual. Come on and join us. Get knowledge, get support, get encouragement, make new friends, all from the comfort of your home. We'll see you there.